All right, let's talk about something that we all run into at work, acronyms. You know what I'm talking about. So, are they this brilliant shortcut that helps us all be more efficient? Or are they actually creating a secret code that locks people out and sparks a full-blown communication crisis? Let's dive in. Have you ever had that feeling? You start a new job, you're sitting in a meeting, and suddenly it's like, wait, do I need a translator? It feels like your team is speaking a totally different language. If that sounds even a little bit familiar, trust me, you are not alone. Okay, so the OKR for Q3 is looking good, but the KPI is tracking low. I'm going to need that report by EOD. Our B2B client needs to connect with HR about the new SaaS platform. Oh, and what's the status on that WIP? It can feel like this constant barrage, right? Just a stream of letters that leaves you feeling completely and utterly lost. When you boil it down, this is really what's happening. All these acronyms, they become a kind of secret code. And for the people who know the code, it's great. It creates a bond. But for everyone else, it just builds a wall. It draws a very clear line in the sand between who's in the group and who's on the outside looking in. But, let's be fair, acronyms don't usually come from a bad place. We reach for these shortcuts for one main reason. And honestly, it's a pretty good one: efficiency. We just want to get things done faster. And, the upsides seem pretty obvious, don't they? In a world that's moving a million miles a minute, saying HR instead of human resources just saves time. And when the whole team gets the lingo, it does create this real sense of belonging, like an inside joke. It can even signal that you know your stuff. On the surface, it really does seem like a total win-win. But here's the twist. Every single one of those benefits has a shadow, a dark side. What feels like a convenient shortcut for you, an insider, is a confusing barrier for an outsider. That warm sense of belonging for one person directly leads to a cold feeling of isolation for another. And what sounds like expertise to some feels like a totally exclusive secret language to everyone else.
This right here, this is the turning point. This is where those seemingly harmless little shortcuts stop being helpful and instead turn into massive roadblocks. And the real irony, they get in the way of the very thing they were supposed to improve: communication itself.
And we can't forget the human cost in all of this. For somebody new to the team, it's not just confusing, it's deeply frustrating. It's isolating. You start to feel like you just can't keep up, no matter how skilled or talented you actually are. So the immediate drawbacks are just glaringly obvious. You're actively pushing new people away. You're opening the door for huge misunderstandings. Does AI mean action item, or does it mean artificial intelligence? Those are two very different things. Simple chats get needlessly complicated, and you end up wasting way more time explaining what you meant than you ever saved by using the acronym. Now this is where it gets really interesting, because the problem escalates. This isn't just a simple communication quirk. Over time, it can actually poison a team's culture and cause some real long-term damage that's so much harder to fix. What ends up happening is this cultural divide. Conversations that are full of jargon, they naturally create an in crowd, the people who get it, and an out crowd, who are just left feeling like they don't belong. This is the seed of a toxic atmosphere, a place where only a select few feel comfortable enough to actually speak up. And the chain reaction from there is devastatingly simple. It all starts with overusing acronyms. This makes people feel isolated, maybe even undervalued. And from there, morale and engagement just plummet. And when people aren't engaged, the clarity and direction of your most important projects start to suffer badly. And this is the ugly end result. You're left with a culture where new ideas get stifled because people are just afraid to ask what they think is a stupid question. Project goals get completely misaligned, all because the team doesn't have a shared, clear understanding of what they're even supposed to be working towards. So if the downsides are this obvious, why in the world do we keep doing it? Well, to find a real solution, we first have to crack the code on our own behavior and get real about the justifications we tell ourselves. We all know the excuses. We say, oh, it's just more efficient. But the reality is, all the time you lose clarifying things and fixing mistakes totally erases any gains. Or we say, it's just our culture. What we're really saying is that our culture is okay with having an exclusive in-crowd. And maybe the most common excuse of all, it's just a habit. Well, that's the most dangerous, because it's a habit that is actively blocking inclusivity. So what's the real takeaway here? The goal isn't just to save 2 seconds in a sentence. The real goal, the important one, is to build a culture of absolute clarity and genuine inclusivity, a place where every single person feels empowered to contribute their very best ideas. So I'll leave you with this one question to really think about.
take an honest look at the way your own team communicates. Is your shorthand building bridges that bring everyone closer together, or is it slowly and silently building walls that are pushing people apart?